So I am here with DJ Gravy.
And what is rice and peas exactly?
What is rice and peas? Rice and peas is basically a concept I had. I've been DJing since been playing out since '98,
Wow.
and I started with reggae. Was like my thing. I really like at my first several gigs. That's all I played was like reggae, and as I developed as a DJ, I started playing, definitely hip hop, and then as I progressed more, started playing just, a lot of different genres of music. But reggae and dancehall has always kind of been my niche, sort of main thing that people know me for, and just something that I can't stop doing. I love it, and when I watch what happens to the crowd of people when we play this music, it's so magical. It's like, there's no way I could ever stop, basically. So rice and peas was like an idea I had because for the most part I was playing alongside DJs who weren't reggae DJs. I played some reggae events for reggae DJs over those first 6, 7, 8 years there, but mostly I was playing with like hip hop DJs, playing hip hop, playing funk and soul and house and whatever, and I'd come in with the reggae, and it would always just have such an impact on the crowd. Like everybody got out of their seats, and sometimes I was playing with way better DJs than myself, who were more experienced, more well-known, better at DJing. But the reggae would just do something that their sets didn't do to the crowd, and it was so apparent, And I always enjoyed being that. I had my secret weapon with the 7 inches and the reggae and dancehall. But at a certain point, I was like, man, I want to do like a whole night where it's reggae and dancehall and that kind of energy the whole night. But I don't want to just follow suit with what everyone else in the space does. I want to like push and conquer new spaces that aren't doing this kind of music. Because around that time, I know you remember, because I've been seeing you on the scene since probably like '05 or probably before that. But it's like, reggae and dancehall happened in, Queens and Brooklyn, the Bronx. And as far as like in Manhattan, there's a couple places that would do it. But, because I'm into a lot of different music and I'm friends with people into so much different kind of stuff. I grew up all over the city, different boroughs, went to different kind of schools, just have a really, really diverse network of friends growing up, and still, I'd go to all my friends' gigs and be like, damn, this venue was fly. The sound is off the hook. It's just beautiful. The this, the that. I was like, damn, it'd be really cool if we could do a reggae party here, a dancehall party. Everyone would laugh. That'll never happen, buddy. Keep dreaming. Like, you can't do reggae here. You can't do reggae at APT. You can't do reggae at Le Bon. You can't do reggae at these like, kind of places. They don't do it. They do every other genre of nightlife music, but not that. So it kind of became like a quest for me to be like, well, let's see if we can. And I started talking to the venue owners and venue, managers. And it was funny because even a lot of the people that were like into reggae, or they might be West Indian, or they have some connection to the culture, and they have a sincere personal appreciation for it. They're like, oh, we can't bring that here though. They're like, they'll come to my parties, but they won't have my party at their venue, because they're like, oh no, this is a bottle service place, or this is a carefully curated, rah rah rah. Reggae brings this and reggae brings that, and no one drinks and no one spends all these like stigmas about reggae. I was going to reggae events, and they were not what they were describing. So I was like, I think there's more to this thing. I had this vision of bringing reggae and dancehall into the downtown nightlife space, like the cool places where all the cool people are, the pretty girls, the who's who's, the industry, the tastemakers, quote unquote. I hate that word, but you know what I'm saying. And it's like, seeing the response I would get, because like, I used to do Mondays at Sway, and this is before I started Rice and Peas. And it was more of a hip hop kind of meets hipster, sneaker, streetwear kind of conglomerate that started Mondays at Sway. And it was off the hook. It was a great party. You'd see everybody there, meet cool people. And I started playing it with my buddy DJ Synapse, who's like a hip hop, breakbeat, party rocker, kind of open format DJ. Even before I ever heard of open format, he was definitely on that tip. And so we would play together, and this is vinyl era. So I was bringing 5 crates into that tiny little booth on top of whatever he carried. And I'd play dancehall and reggae and a little hip hop, but the reggae and dancehall would just have such a great response that when we did end up starting Rice and Peas at APT, which was like a very, very cool place. It was, the downstairs was a really small room that had incredible sound, and they had Africa Bambaataa and DJ Spinna and Bobito and Nicodemus and all these people who really kind of like own their corner in the lane that they're in,
Yeah.
So, getting to see those guys in small rooms was like something really cool. And that was a great place for doing stuff like that. And I managed to convince them to let me bring this, concept I had for a downtown reggae party that would have like the right kind of ratio, a diverse turnout, something different. I was like, I'm not looking to recreate what's already out there. I'm looking to start a new wave that can help reggae really have a place in the downtown nightlife world in New York City. And they gave me that chance, and shoot, the rest is history, I guess. But I mean,
Yeah.
I gathered together. It was myself and Bo Parisi, if you remember him, Weed Cologne.
No, I don't think. I remember his name on flyers, but I don't know what he looks like.
He would go on at like 3:47 in the morning usually. He might have been there for some of his sets, but yeah, he worked at record stores all over Brooklyn, and he worked at Music Ambassador. That was like his kind of headquarters or whatever. And I met him from buying records for an online record store I was working with. And I would go to his events, and he had an awesome lineup of DJs. He had Scarrett and Nori and Shortman Movements and Maya, DJ Maya, and that was the first time I saw Micro as well. And I mean, just awesome lineups, but he wasn't bringing any big crowds and wasn't really an event organizer kind of guy, but he had these great relationships. And, we teamed up together basically to do Rice and Peas.
That's
And,
cool.
I was like, Max has to be a part of it. Max Glazer, of course. There was a lot of other people early on that were in the mix with us too. There was King Jam from Japan.
Yeah, I remember him.
So it was like a ton of DJs, and we did APT for a while. That kind of ran its course. I mean, it was great, but they were still a little bit on the fence about things. And eventually, basically, we moved it over to Mondays at Sway. Max was DJing a Monday night party, I believe, for Cosmo Baker's birthday. And I was talking with Roxy and telling her, hey, I started this dancehall reggae party with Max, and it's awesome, and we're looking for a new, venue to bring it to. And she was like, why don't you try here? So
now, who's Roxy?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Roxy was basically the organizer, the promoter of Mondays at Sway.
Yeah.
And she was really popping at that time, especially like just kind of, she brought the Baltimore, she used to manage Diplo early on, I think. And she brought Diplo to New York for the first time, if I'm not mistaken. She was just like getting all cool people together and doing events and definitely making an impact. And
this is like the 2000s, right? Like 2005 to 2010. This is all happening.
This is the first. We started Rice and Peas. I didn't actually call it Rice and Peas at the very, very beginning. At APT in February 2007. And then maybe by like April or May, I have to look back, we started calling it Rice and Peas. I had like some other names that I was just going with, but they all felt very temporary.
Yeah.
I was like, I need a name that can really stick, something that'll really get a response from people.
So
everybody that name, and I'm Gravy, so it's the Rice and Peas Party.
It works. It works. So the Rice and Peas has been around for over a decade now.
Yeah,
Wow.
7. So we have 14 years, though. I mean, yeah, we haven't
Wow.
done it obviously in the last year and change now, but yeah, I mean, I don't plan on ever stopping it. I think it's still magical. It's still great. We
No,
still have incredible energy, and
it totally is. It totally is. Like.